Get ready to get ready. Coming to you live from the MFG studios in the heart of America's summer golf capital. We help you play better golf. It's time to get your game on and take it deep. This is the Mike Fay Golf Show. Here's your host, Mike Fay.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to MFG Show, episode 21, gentlemen. You believe it's been 21 times already we've been doing this. It's unbelievable.
Blackjack.
Yes, it's amazing. For all of those that are tuning in here on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, we are a live stream that happens every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Plus, we have a recording of it that you guys can listen to on iTunes and Spotify and TuneIn and wherever you are. My name is Mike Fay. I'm the PGA Director of Instruction at Boyne Golf Academy here in Northern Michigan. Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves tonight? This is the crew of PGA professionals from around the world that help you play better golf. Go ahead, Frank.
Well, I'm Frank Guastella, and I'm the teaching professional at the St. Clair Golf Club in southern Michigan, where it was a balmy 51 degrees and windy today. And I'm also a PGA master professional.
Go ahead, Brent.
Oh, well, I'll go and jump in now. Jason, my name's Brent Davis. I'm an Australian PGA member. I work for the PGA at the moment as the continuing education coordinator, and I also coach out of the PGA Learning and Performance Centre here at Sandhurst Golf Club in sunny Melbourne, but not so sunny today, but certainly warmer than you guys.
Yeah, we've had a rough go. I'm Jason Helman, Director of Instruction, Windance Golf Club, and jasonhelmangolf.com. It's my 13th year at the club there. PGA of Canada Teacher of the Year in 2010. PGA of Canada Professional Development Award recipient in 2016. And it's my 27th year teaching. So looking forward to this year, even though it started out kind of cold.
Man, you are getting old, Jay. My goodness, look at
I started young.
You did.
Got windburn here today from standing out there for 5 hours in the 40-degree Fahrenheit and 3-degree Celsius weather today. So it was fun, but we had done some good results, even though it was cold. People trooped it out.
So if you guys are tuning into our live stream tonight, we are hosting golf's most interactive online show every week. And we are so happy that you're here. So we'll be tuning in and sharing some comments from what we'll be talking about tonight and talking directly with you, which is pretty neat to be able to do this technology and joining all of the small corners of the globe together to help you play better. So tonight, I think that our first comment, exactly right, Mr. Helman, it's not warming up very much, is it, my friend?
No. Mm-hmm. We had snow yesterday in my car. I put that in the story on my Instagram just for fun, because it's like, get real. Like, it's almost May 1st, and we're still getting snow, so it kind of sucks. But today was at least sunny, but still cold.
Yes, it has. And this kind of goes back to a thorn in our side here in Michigan, right, Frank, about boys' high school golf. And
yeah, it sure is, Mike.
It's,
again, down here, we've had snow, we've had rain. This week alone, St. Clair had to play 3 to 4 matches just because the first probably 2 to 3 matches that they had were postponed due to bad weather. And if you think back to last year here in Michigan, where we were getting snow and appreciable amounts of snow, into May, last year there was some schools that only played maybe 1 or 2 high school matches before they even went to regionals. I mean, to me, I don't know how you feel about it, Mike. I think it's unfair. I don't think it's right.
Yeah, it's not very good for the sport, first off. Trying to get these kids ahead, not just in golf, but also in life, giving them opportunities to be able to get education and scholarships and things like that. Very difficult when you don't have enough scores to post. And when you do post, the weather is awful. I mean, last week I was down in Cadillac at the country club there. with Big North Conference match. It was 41 degrees, a wind chill of 32, and I'll tell you what, it felt a lot colder than that. And the kids are out there playing. It was so cold, and any second it could have snowed. And it's just tough, you know. And watch your kids work so hard, have to play in that kind of weather. It's very, very difficult. Plus the golf courses, you know, everybody does their best, but they're certainly not in summertime shape, right? So
Yeah.
it's definitely difficult. So going on over there, Brent, you were telling us about the weather over there.
Well, just before we move on from that topic, I'm curious from an Australian point of view, because we obviously don't have that scholarship-based system where people play high school golf to get into college golf. Do college coaches take that into consideration? So if someone's coming from a state where they may be snowed out for half the year, do they take the scores into account? Do they take that into account that they're playing on poorly prepared golf courses early in the season, or is that taken into account by the coaches scouting players, or is it just kind of bad luck?
I think it's part of it, but then also the kids will have to travel outside of state to compete, to post some scores. So you're going to play an AJGA and stuff like that to be able to really, you know, get your scoring averages down and get yourself noticed by college coaches and things like that. Yeah, there's no doubt.
They don't really care. They just look at the score differentials from two-day events, and I don't even think they denote the weather conditions on there.
Yeah, you have to travel, right? So you gotta go somewhere that's got some warm weather and go play.
Brent, one of the girls I work with, she's already played in 4 events, but only one in our state. You know, she was going to Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, which are southern states, just to get some early season action in, and that's what you have to do if that's what you're, you know, if you want to play at the next level here and you want to be recruited. Like Mike said, you got to find games. You have to find tournaments. If you have to travel, you go travel.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if you're a college coach and you saw a player that was traveling and playing well at strange golf courses, that would be the type of player I'd be looking to recruit, because obviously they can play different courses and still play well.
Absolutely. No, you know, all that kind of stuff. So traveling around for sure with the weather is tough. How's the weather over there now?
It's starting to cool off a little bit now. So, but again, cold for us is not cold what you guys face, fortunately. So we've had a bit of a cold and wet run at the moment. So it's a little bit grey and overcast today, but we're looking at 20 degrees Celsius as opposed to minus 20 degrees Celsius that you guys have to put up with. But it certainly is colder earlier for us, so I'm sure it's impacting the guys that are coaching out there and club pros out there, which isn't a good thing for the game of golf. But hopefully, it tends to be a bit unpredictable here, so I'm sure we'll get a few more warm days before it really turns cold.
You know, the other thing it affects here is the amount of rounds that you get at the golf courses. So golf course owners and your private clubs aren't seeing a lot of activity. Our club probably had maybe 10 players yesterday, 10 players today. The public courses in our area are not getting the play that they really would need at this time of the year. And obviously you can't make up these days. Once you lose them from a business perspective, you've lost them. It's not like you're going to gain it at the end of the season. A lot of times people think, well, if we have a good September and a good October, you know, we're going to get a lot of play. Mike can tell you, you know, just from the area that he's in, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. And I can tell you the same thing from down here in the major metropolitan Detroit area. Just because we get good weather in September and October, it doesn't mean as a golf course owner I'm going to make up those rounds that I lost early in the year. So it's kind of tough. You know, a good start for us really, or an early start for us really gets people excited about golf and getting them out to your facilities. I mean, it's really impacting a lot of the business perspective of our industry, especially in the Northeast and the North, or the mid-North. You know, it's been a tough spring.
Yeah, it has. I mean, just we were talking about earlier, I've seen some golf professionals make some posts online about being, you know, having to deal with snow out east and stuff. So it's not just here. It's just about everywhere. So question for you guys, is that impacting what your business is? And for all of you that are in the golf professional. And then for you guys that are chomping at the bit about getting out and playing more golf, what are you doing right now? What are you doing to get ready for the season? And, some of us are just getting rid of some of the snow, and the grass is starting to grow just a little bit. And, what are you doing to get ready? Because it'll be here in a minute. I know that. As soon as that happens, we've had years, right, Frank, where here in Michigan, where all of a sudden it just switches and you didn't even have a spring. And
yeah, exactly.
Summer. And
that's it.
So it happens sometimes.
Is it important to get people out to the club for other events and other functions as opposed to just pure golf early now if you're having this type of cold run?
Definitely. Definitely, Brent, because a lot of the private clubs have, their social activities, or they have dining available. And if people just aren't coming out to the club because the weather's not good, that impacts the overall operations, not just the golf operation.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully some head pros out there are getting their thinking caps on and coming up with some ideas to still get people to the club, at least get them started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get them going out there. I mean, you spent a really tough day today, didn't you, Jay, out on the range?
Yeah, it was windy. Like, I don't know, probably 3-club wind coming straight out of the north, and it was, I don't know. I'm kind of tired. It takes me about a month to get acclimatized to the weather of the sun and wind just sort of beat you up a little bit, but everybody made it through. Got some good results, so.
Good. That's fantastic.
Glad I wasn't hitting shots in today's weather.
Be a bit jarring on the hands, I'm sure.
Oh, I had one little guy. He had a 5 iron at East 10, and he hit probably, I don't know how many, maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 shots, really thin, and it didn't even bother him. Like, he's like, "Oh man, that was terrible." Like, okay, but like, I'm thinking, aren't your hands hurting? Because like that was thin and awful. But then he started puring it. But
kids are tough, mate. Kids are tough.
It didn't even bother him.
Snap your fingers off when you get old and arthritis in the knuckles. It's not a good thing.
All the way up into the shoulder and everything, just the vibration going up there. It's like, oh man, that hurt.
Yeah, get that. Should be skidding off the ice still, shouldn't it? Should get good contact.
Yeah, the ice is gone, thankfully. But
my goodness,
it was really nice last Thursday. We opened last Thursday, it was like 15 Celsius and sunny, and
well, here we go. Good
day,
season coming up.
And then Saturday it snowed. So
you got to get out of there, you guys. You got to come down to Australia. Keep telling you.
I had the opportunity.
Well, another topic tonight that we wanted to bring up, for those of you that are watching us live on Periscope and YouTube and on Facebook, thanks so much for joining us. Type your comments in there. We want you to engage with us tonight on golf's most interactive online show. We're having a little discussion about pace play on the professional golf tours, and it's not very good. Not very good at golfing. Not a very good example for our young kids and other golfers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, they definitely need to pick up the pace. I mean, they need to call rules. They call the rules violations in the LPGA, no problem. I mean, there's 2 or 3 incidences we could pull out, and none on the PGA Tour. So, not that I've ever seen publicly anyway, but if they do make an example of someone, then maybe the guys will pick up the pace. But I don't know. I think there's more money on the line, and I think they give them a little bit of leeway, and they got the television rights and all that stuff to deal with. I haven't seen them go over on too many broadcasts, like past 6 p.m. But yeah, they just need to make an example of someone or a couple of people and get it going. I think Molinari had a quote of 5.5-hour rounds or something. That's ridiculous, and
it's crazy.
Yeah, 5.5 hours too long out there.
And they're playing in 2s and 3s.
Yeah,
isn't that they're playing in 4s? They're playing in small groups, and they're taking that long.
They don't even have to carry their own bag.
No, it's scary how long that takes. It just drives me nuts. If it takes you any more than 4 hours to play a game of golf, there's something wrong.
It's just like, sitting there watching an Avengers movie. Just takes forever.
Just goes on and on and on.
It goes on like the end game just came out here, right? Around the world. It takes forever.
I agree with
Started
Jason. I agree with Jason about pace of play can be monitored. Rules officials are at all the tournaments, and all they have to do is just start warning players or, giving them penalties instead of fining them. I mean, what's a fine? What's a $500 fine to a player today? Why don't you start hitting them in the pocketbook by giving them a one-shot or two-shot penalty or disqualifying them if it's a constant offense? I mean, here in Michigan, when we work tournaments, we have timing sheets. We're expected to, say things to our players when they're falling behind or they're not keeping up. Why don't they do that on the tours? And I tend to agree with you, Jay. I think it's because they got TV rights and there's a lot of money at hand and they don't want to tick anybody off. But for the sake of the game, it's ridiculous. Why should it take threesomes 5.5 hours to play golf?
Yeah.
It just can't take that long. I completely agree, Frank. Until you actually penalise a few of them, they just won't stop. Yeah. They take that long because they can, and I get that they're playing for titles and big sums of prize money, but it's getting beyond a joke. I think.
Generally when I watch golf, I usually fall asleep anyway, and wake up about 10 minutes to 6, and just a capture.
So wins.
I find out who wins. I'm like, oh, yeah. All right, they're on the 18th. First, he's got a 1-shot lead. Okay, all right, and then I'm getting ready to make dinner. Right after that.
Man, that's a ringing endorsement there, Jay.
Yeah, I mean,
if a golf pro won't watch it live, then something's going wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I watched 10 minutes of it live.
Yeah, just the end of it, so you wins.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, what was the story that they had Molinari's quote on Twitter on that European tours tweeting out things about, things are becoming more public about who's playing slow, right? Do you think that has an impact if their tour tweets out about who's slow and not just fine them, but bring it to the public's attention? Maybe. Will that make a difference?
I mean, then you're gonna get a bunch of hecklers out there. I don't know if that's good for it, but
no.
Right.
But if it comes to the public attention, it can't be a bad thing. I did see a quote from one of the players saying he's a I can't think who it was now, but he's quite a quick player, and when he plays with slow players, he deliberately plays slow early on to get them on the clock, and then all of a sudden they're playing at his pace, then which he thought worked for him. But I don't know if that's a very sportsmanlike way to go about it. But I think it just still comes down to putting the guys on the clock and issuing some sort of penalty to them.
Yeah, they gotta issue the penalty. They give them the warning all the time, but they don't do anything about it. And it's not like they pick up the pace either. They might pick up the pace by 30 seconds, but they're on a warning for 3 holes or 4 holes or whatever, and then nothing ever comes of it.
Speaking of slow play, did you see that great sprinting demonstration by Adam Scott and Jason Day and a couple of tour players up one of the last holes there?
It did.
It wasn't. If you jump on social media and check it out, the running styles are not particularly good by any of them. So you can tell they walk around the golf course instead of sprinting.
Oh boy.
Certainly not a good technique for a 100-meter sprinter. They were trying to get that last hole finished.
I remember at working at a country club one time, and it was like, I don't know, 6:30, 7 p.m. And one of the assistants, he thought I was a little heavy. He called me out on it, and I said, "Buddy, I'll beat you in a sprint, no problem." He's like, "All right, let's go right now." I said, "Okay, I'll get my golf shoes on. Let's go." From the front of the green on number 1 west to the 150-yard marker. And I waxed him.
I'd pull a hamstring trying to do that, I think.
Oh, no, I waxed him. I had my golf shoes on. He was like 5 strides behind me, and he was a little skinny kid.
Oh, man. Pulling a hamstring.
I would pull a hamstring doing that. I would face plant and pull a hamstring, I reckon.
Yeah, there was no stretching, but we just went out and did it. But one of the back shop kids at the 150, to make sure that, there was no like chest lean for the win or anything,
Chest lean for the win.
Oh dear.
And how old
I
were
can
you,
see it.
Jason, when you did
I
that?
was 26.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was the time split for the 150-yard dash?
I was fast. I'm a fast sprinter. I know he
Okay.
didn't time it. I just beat him by a large margin.
But could you have kept going past the 150?
Yeah,
That was it.
I'm 200 max, 200 meters max.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I'm winded after that. So he never called me fat again though.
No, he would put him back in his place. Good to see.
That's right.
Nice. Brent, you had something you wanted to bring up tonight.
Yeah, I was interested from parents out there and also from you guys. Like my little boy has started his team sports for our winter season. So he's off playing his Australian rules football and he's starting soccer this year. So obviously they're in that team sport environment, which I think is great for kids to be able to interact with other kids their own age and get that team spirit going. And it's interesting to watch from a coaching perspective how they interact and how much they seem to enjoy that friendship they get with their teammates, and they sing the song afterwards and they high five each other when they kick a goal and all that kind of stuff. And it's good to see, and I think it's important for kids to get that. And from a coaching perspective, first up, how do you guys bring that team spirit into your junior programs or your coaching programs?
Well, one of the things that we've started over here is PGA Junior League, which has been very helpful getting kids together. If you haven't seen it, Brent, it is a PGA of America initiative where kids are made part of teams. They are given jerseys with numbers on their backs.
Cool.
And they play little matches against each other in teams, like 2-3 person teams, playing with each other, helping each other, high-fiving each other, and switching around and playing 3 whole matches, which is pretty neat. That has been very helpful for golf because golf is, individual sport, and it's very, very inclusive in that way. It brings new kids in. Hey, I don't play golf, but my friend plays golf. Well, why don't you come join the team and have some fun with us? That's what we're seeing, which is really, really cool. You don't have to be the best golfer to enjoy the game. And that's really, really important in getting more kids out playing golf. Don't you think that's what's happening here, Frank?
Yeah, I agree, Mike. And the other thing I've seen is different golf courses competing against other golf courses. Maybe the kids from my course come over to Boyne and play the kids from Boyne, which is really kind of neat. And I think they've really done a great playoff of like Little League baseball or Pop Warner football, like you say, where they put them in uniforms. Some of these uniforms are pretty neat. They've got the kids' names on the back, or they give them a number. But I think it's a great concept and a great way to get kids together, cheering each other on, helping each other out, and just making them have an appreciation for the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I grew up here playing hockey, obviously, in Canada, and we have that team camaraderie. And if I got hit in the corner, I know my other teammates got my back. If it was a dirty hit or something, check from behind or boarding or something. And I think that's something that in team sports, they stick up for you. You stick up for each other. And it happened, kids are great. They make their own. I let the kids make their own rules in junior camp, and every kid is a captain in one of the games throughout the whole week. Sometimes 2 or 3 times. They get to pick and draft the team. I just let them be kids, and I obviously referee the rules, but they're pretty fair. They make the rules pretty fair, and they go, no, you can't do that. That's not fair. So they all agree. And I'm like, okay, that's good. You guys got the rules. No changing the rules in the middle of the game. And where you go. Now we're playing. So that sort of is somewhat of a team environment because they're creating their own teams. versus, competing against each other individually, where it's sort of like an I sport.
Yeah, which I think is a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm better than you, So I never really want to sort of create that kind of atmosphere. I think we saw it in in the movie The Short Game, when one of the kids started to sort of, talk poorly about another kid, and the coach stepped in and said, no, you don't cheer against another kid like that. That's not what you do. This is what you do. So, which was great in that movie to see that. He's sort of at that moment being a little bit of a parent to the junior golfer. So, stepping in, stepping up. But yeah, the team sports are good. I encourage all my kids to take a little bit of time off and play another sport, and they all play soccer or hockey or baseball or football. One of those sports that it's a team sport, and sort of,
Yeah, I think it's great. I think for all the parents out there, just to be aware that specialising kids too early can be a real problem. It shouldn't happen, especially in a late peaking sport like golf. They don't need to specialise in golf at 10, 12 years of age. They should be playing to other sports. There's plenty of crossover skills and that happen from other sports. So the more, and I think if you specialise in an individual sport like golf too early, then you get that very internal, singular mindset, which I think is a bad thing to have, especially for a kid. I think they need that team sport environment as well.
Yeah, I've seen many kids that have been sport specific, or chosen to be sport specific by their parents, and a lot of them are pretty shy, pretty reserved. Social skills are just being developed now, and in their 20s, so they miss out on a lot of life things, not skills, but life events, when they're doing that, because they're just doing golf 10, 12 hours a day, and then going home to work out, and, their friendships are online. They don't even actually interact with people. So I'm 100% against that. I'm actually just finished up my presentation for junior golf workshop with my athletic therapist, and it's the junior golf pathway and the parent's role in the life of a junior athlete. So that's my subject title, and she's doing how to deal with a junior golfer as their body grows, and in regards to swing mechanics. So I'm going to lay down the law on on a few things in this session, but because we see it all too often, the parents are too hard on the junior and expect a lot, and don't really have a sense of reality when it comes to kids, and what they should actually be doing is having fun and learning through failure and growing as a person and all those things. So not just golf scores.
Yeah, definitely. But and as you said, as you touched on quickly, it builds social skills as well. Like in his junior football team, there's 25 kids on that team, so there's going to be some kids in there that he doesn't get on with. So he's going to have to learn to deal with that. So having that team sport environment in all sports is important, because he's going to have to learn to deal with people he doesn't get on with.
I'll bet he even comes in the next few weeks and says, "Hey, Dad, I got a problem with the kid. What do I do?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. And there's some kids on that team that I'd like to sort out occasionally as well. So, but that's part of being a parent.
Sure.
That's part of being part of a team. It's part of being a kid. You aren't going to get on with everybody you come across in your life. So, building those skills and building that ability to deal with people that you don't see eye to eye with is an important thing to learn.
Yeah, definitely.
It is. It's not all fun and roses sometimes, and in order to deal with that, it's difficult situations, right? So they have to learn. It's all important. It's all good. All these things, and we all know sports specialization isn't exactly what we want it to be. We want our kids to be developing into athletes, and that's what's going to keep us a long way. And then throw some social skills in there and make the right decisions and teach them the right ways, and hopefully they grow up to be a good adult, which is pretty cool.
I'll post a video of my little boys' football team singing the team song, and they love it. They're all 8, 9, 10 years old, and they're arm in arm in a circle singing the team song, and it's awesome to see that the smiles on their faces. They certainly get a kick out of it.
That's cool. It's intense, probably.
That's great.
Awesome stuff. Shout out to El Presidente. He's on Facebook right now. Matt Carla's on Facebook. Let's see. Got all of us guys are on Facebook. Very cool. Got a couple people on YouTube. We got a few on Periscope. Welcome, you guys. If you guys don't see this, if you're watching this on the replay, you can also catch it on iTunes and Spotify and TuneIn. We'll also have audio version of it in the next couple of days. We put it out every week, MFG Show, and this is episode 21, golf's most interactive online show. So welcome, everybody, for tuning in late. I wanted to talk a little bit about opening day at Boyne. We had it this past Friday at Boyne Mountain and at Crooked Tree. It was a beautiful sunshiny day. I put out a video about it, and we did the question of the week. So I know that 2 of you guys have played at Boyne. What is your favorite golf course, gents, at Boyne Golf? What do you think? Frank, you've seen it.
I like the Alpine.
Alpine?
I think it's very, very playable. It's picturesque. It's always in great shape. I just enjoy playing there.
What's the Arthur Hills course name?
The Hills.
The Hills, yeah, I like the Hills.
You like the Hills?
Yeah.
Yeah, down the hill there.
Right, cut out of the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, some really good golf holes there.
Yes, there's 10 golf courses here at Boyne Resorts, Brent, all within about 45 minutes of each other.
Nice.
It's pretty
Perfect
cool.
spot to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sounds like fun.
Very, very neat place to be. Good stuff. So that was the question of the week. What else did we want to talk about this evening, gentlemen?
I want to talk about Rahm and Palmer winning the team match, or?
Yes, absolutely. They won the Zurich Classic of New Orleans today by a lot. A whole ton, I believe. What was it?
Did that give them both an exemption?
Oh, I don't know if it does.
How does that? It would have to, wouldn't it? They both won.
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't qualify as an exemption.
They get 5 years each instead of 10.
I think it's only 2.
2, yeah.
Okay.
2 for a regular. 2 for a regular win.
They get 12 months each then.
Yeah, maybe.
Any of you guys out there that are watching our live stream tonight and know that answer, please type it in. Mr. Chumler, welcome, my friend. Awesome to have you on Facebook Live with us. The ladies are playing in Los Angeles this weekend. It looks like we had a big lead going on.
I've got the hockey game on. It's 2-1 Colorado over San Jose.
2-1 Colorado.
I actually don't fall asleep during the hockey game.
That's good.
Because they play fast.
Thank goodness.
Yes, Minji Ling did finish when we went on live. Yes.
Smoked at 4.
Yes, she did. She finished it when we went on. She wasn't done yet, so that's cool.
Love it.
Yes, she was playing awesome. It was fun to watch there.
Australian, taking first place.
Good to see the Aussies doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Who's her coach, Richie?
I'm not sure who she's working with at the moment.
He's over in Perth. Richie somebody.
Oh, Richie Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, Richie Smith.
Yeah. So no, he's a good coach. He did his apprenticeship about the same time as I did, ex-school teacher.
Oh, yeah?
Went through and did his traineeship a little bit later on, and has been doing very well in the coaching scene ever since then. Good guy, too.
Oh, El Presidente got us yes on exemptions, 400 FedEx points each, got 1 million and a few other things. There you go.
Wow, really good.
What do you guys think about team competition like that? You know, 2 players playing. Does that make you want to watch golf more? I mean, What's your thoughts on that? Or do you prefer individual medal play instead of?
I think either the match play or the stroke play. I don't really like the 2-person thing. It doesn't really. I mean, I only see 10 minutes of it anyway, so.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have asked you, right, Jay?
Yeah.
No, it's a bad person to ask.
Brent and Mike, what do you think?
It's probably a hard question for us to answer because we're going to watch golf anyway. It's probably something to throw out there to people that are just starting out. Do you like seeing the different formats? We have a few different formats here in Australia with the Perth Super Sixes where they play 6-hole matches, trying to get something different going. So I don't know. It's hard for us to answer those questions, I think, because we're into golf, whereas someone starting might like that new type of format as something different.
Yeah, we would definitely have a bias one way or the other for sure.
Yeah, the 2-person stuff is fun. I certainly really enjoy Ryder Cup and President's Cup and stuff like that. That's just totally different, though, Frank. But,
yeah. I mean, that I really enjoy. Mike, I got to be honest with you guys. To me, I mean, I didn't have any interest in watching the tournament this week. Just because I prefer just individual medal play as opposed to 2 guys trying to make a bunch of birdies. I mean, I suppose people might have interest in that, but I certainly prefer, just seeing mano-a-mano.
Right.
You're old though, Frank. You're old traditionalist.
You're
dying off. You're dying off, so you'll be gone soon anyway.
Yeah, you'll be falling asleep we'll be waking 10 minutes left soon.
You guys are lucky I'm still awake right now. I mean.
Yeah, don't you go to Sizzler at 4 p.m. and get the special?
Yeah, I do, Jay. And then I try to get home by 6 o'clock so that I can watch the news, maybe some Jeopardy, and then go to bed.
Oh, 100%. I'm off for Jeopardy. I like Jeopardy. It's like lumosity, so you can kind of.
Jeopardy's boring though, even though that guy keeps winning every week. That's boring.
He's hot.
Well, yeah, if you don't get any answers, it's boring.
It's like they gave him all the answers already.
Yeah, that was Quiz Show, the movie Quiz Show. They actually did give a guy the answers back in the day. Right?
I mean, it looks like he has all the answers. The answers before he,
I'd say, Frank, you know about the Quiz Show, but I don't want to,
That's okay, Jay. Yes, I do know about the Quiz Show.
Yeah. I didn't know about the Quiz Show. That wasn't.
Yeah, you got to remember that the year I was born, I think television just came out. So.
Oh dear. I thought you were old, but I didn't think you were that old.
Oh, you guys. El Prez says Boyne's Joey Garber came in 37th with Cody Gribble. So pretty cool. Great job, you guys. Very, very neat. That's awesome stuff on PGA Tour event. Is that the first year that they've done that down in New Orleans?
No.
Second
I think
third?
it'd be fun to play, but not so much watch.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jason. That might be more fun to play than watch.
I mean, at least for us, because we're golfers, but golf professionals. But
every once in a while, it's cool though.
Yeah.
Why not? I would like to see the LPGA and the PGA Tour play stuff like that together.
Well, they used to do Wendy's 3-tour challenge, but they don't do it anymore. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I like to see that, and then maybe someday we can have PGA Tour and LPGA Tour play with juniors.
That would be a good concept.
That is a good concept.
Yes, that'd be really, really cool. All right, do we have anything else, gents? We're coming up against the witching hour, and it's almost time for a bedtime.
All right.
2 hours past Frank's.
A little bit. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of MFG Show, our 21st. Pretty cool stuff, and thank you so much for participating. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, and if you guys don't see it live, you'll be able to catch a replay on all those networks as well as iTunes and Spotify and TuneIn and just about everywhere else in your earbuds. So you guys have a super week. We'll see you next Sunday at 9 p.m. East for our live show. We'll see you guys. Have a
See you
good one.
guys.
Guys, talk
Have
soon.
a great week.